The stories you've heard about World War II usually focus on battles, leaders, and turning points. But behind the front lines, something quieter and far more desperate was happening. Entire families were fighting a daily war against hunger with no supply lines, no supermarkets, and honestly, no guarantees. What they ate wasn't written in cookbooks or taught in schools. It was improvised, often uncomfortable, and sometimes, well, shocking. Yet it kept people alive when food systems collapsed completely. If you care about real survival, not theory, not trends, this is where the lessons are. Because these weren't preppers with gear. These were ordinary people forced to become resourceful overnight. And the methods they used still matter today more than most realize. When flour ran out, people turned to anything that could stretch a meal. Bread didn't disappear overnight, but it changed drastically. In many parts of Europe, wheat became scarce or was reserved for the military. Families began extending flour with whatever they could find. Ground acorns, dried potato peels, even sawdust in extreme cases. Acorns, when properly leached to remove bitterness, became a surprisingly reliable staple. They were dried, crushed, and mixed into dough. The result was dense, bitter bread, but it provided calories when nothing else did. You can apply this today by learning to identify and process wild starch sources. For example, collecting acorns, soaking them repeatedly to remove tannins, drying them, and grinding them into flour can give you a backup carbohydrate source if conventional supplies disappear. Soup became the ultimate survival tool because it made everything edible. The idea of soup changed completely during wartime. It wasn't about flavor, it was about extraction. Families learned to boil anything remotely edible for as long as possible to pull out nutrients. Bones, weeds, vegetable scraps, and even leather were boiled into broths. This worked because long cooking breaks down tough materials, releasing calories and minerals that would otherwise be inaccessible. A pot of soup could feed multiple people for days, especially if continuously replenished with new scraps. A practical takeaway is to rethink waste. Vegetable peels, bones, and even tough stems can be saved and boiled for hours to create nutrient-rich broths. In a crisis, a single pot that never fully empties becomes a lifeline. Wild plants stopped being weeds and became essential food sources. Dandelions, nettles, dock leaves, and plantain were no longer ignored. They became daily food. Nettles, once cooked, provided vitamins and minerals that prevented deficiencies. Dandelion roots were roasted as coffee substitutes, while leaves were eaten raw or cooked. This shift required knowledge. People had to quickly learn what was safe and how to prepare it. Mistakes could be dangerous, but so was starvation. You can apply this by learning just 3 or 4 edible wild plants in your area. Start simple. Identify them, understand how to prepare them safely, and practice incorporating them into meals now, not later. Potatoes were stretched far beyond their normal use. Potatoes became one of the most valuable foods during the war, but even they were never wasted. Peels were dried and reused. Mashed potatoes were mixed with fillers, and spoiled portions were carefully cut away and salvaged. Families also learned to store potatoes in cool, dark conditions to extend their life for months. Root cellars or improvised underground pits became critical. Today, you can replicate this by improving how you store staples. Keeping potatoes in a dark, ventilated space can significantly extend their shelf life, reducing dependency on constant resupply. People relied on fermentation to preserve what little they had. Without refrigeration, preserving food became a matter of survival. Fermentation allowed vegetables to last through winter while increasing their nutritional value. Sauerkraut, fermented turnips, and other preserved foods became staples. Fermentation also provided beneficial bacteria that supported gut health, which was crucial when diets were limited. A simple application is learning to ferment basic vegetables. Shredded cabbage with salt, left in a sealed container, can become a long-lasting, nutrient-rich food source with minimal effort. Animal parts. Most people ignore today became critical nutrition. Nothing from an animal was wasted. Organs, bones, skin and fat were all used. Liver and kidneys provided essential nutrients that muscle meat alone could not. Bone marrow was extracted for calories, and even gelatin from boiled bones became valuable. This approach ensured that every calorie and nutrient was maximized. You can apply this by becoming comfortable using the whole animal. Buying cheaper cuts or organ meats and learning how to prepare them can significantly increase your food resilience. Sugar substitutes and improvised sweeteners help maintain morale. Sugar was rare, but people still found ways to create sweetness. Beet syrup, boiled down fruit juices, and even caramelized grains were used. These weren't luxuries, they were psychological support. In prolonged hardship, morale matters. A small amount of sweetness could make a major difference in mental resilience. Today, learning how to create simple syrups from fruits or roots can provide both calories and a morale boost during difficult times. Communities shared knowledge because survival depended on it. One of the most overlooked aspects of wartime survival was the sharing of techniques. Recipes weren't written down. They were passed between neighbors. One family might know how to process acorns, another how to ferment vegetables, another how to trap small animals. This collective knowledge created a network of survival. You can apply this by building connections with others who have practical skills. Knowledge sharing isn't optional in a crisis, it's essential. These survival foods weren't glamorous and they weren't easy, but they worked. They kept families alive through some of the harshest conditions in modern history. The real lesson isn't just what people ate, it's how quickly they adapted, how resourceful they became, and how they refused to waste anything. If you found this valuable and want more deep, real-world survival history like this, make sure you subscribe and share this with someone who takes preparedness seriously.